Good morning, everyone. This is Addison, your favorite author. I'm excited to be here with you today for this creative writing masterclass. It's going to be fantastic, so thank you all in advance for staying through the whole thing. I'd like to take just a few minutes out of a few days, out of a few weeks, out of a few of your months, out of a few of your years. And the reason for that is because I believe that starting today, you are on a path of learning that is limitless, right? So we're really always going to need mentorship, whether that's here with the people that are here that we embrace ourselves with, or when we're out in our professional and personal writing communities, whatever the situation might be. We're all always going to need mentors. If we don't need mentors, then I guess, I don't know anyone that doesn't need a mentor. Anywho, I'm excited to share the knowledge and insight that I have in the creative process writing journey, editing, revising. So in this session, we'll probably do a few things, right? We're going to cover the essential elements of storytelling, right? Of course, that's a foundation. We're going to include some character development. That seems to be a very common theme among people who have questions about creative writing. We're going to talk about some plot structure. That's not for everyone, but it's certainly good to have some useful information in your toolbox. And then two other things, right? We're going to find your unique voice. No one can write and no one can type the way you do what you do. That's a fact, okay? And so we're going to also, in that very same essence, we're going to slam you guys with how to overcome writer's block. We are going to get into the building blocks of writing, of creative writing, of writing your story, whatever it is, whether it's psychological fiction, whether you got a memoir that you're working on, some type of creative writing. That's what we're going to start talking about. Here's the deal, is characters are the heart and soul of the story. They should be well developed. They should be relatable. They should be in competition with each other, and they should also be compelling motivations. An example of character development is instead of simply telling us about the character's traits, right? We show their actions, their dialogue, their thoughts, and then we're able to read that, and we're able to come to our own conclusions as readers. That's why often there are book clubs where people go to discuss what they took away from this very same novel. They all read one novel, they all had a different takeaway. The backstory matters. Here's where I enjoy writing the most. A rich backstory, right? What does it add? It adds depth. What else does it add? Complexity to the character's personality. Whether it's their childhood, shitty upbringing, a great upbringing, and then have the great upbringing produce such a shitty adult, right? You consider their childhood, their relationships, and their past experiences, and now we start figuring out who the character is. And we're going to talk about plot. And plot's essential to a captivating story. That's it. We're not doing this without a plot. We're doing this with a plot. It should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. The reader should be able to tell people while they are reading their book, they should be able to say, hey, this is where I am in it. Right? It should be clear, concise, to the point. The cool part about this is that you get to produce some conflict. And you get to produce some rising action, some climax, some combate, if you will. You introduce a central conflict in which your character has to overcome. The kind of thing that creates tension, the kind of thing that your readers really want to read about, and it keeps them engaged. Here's where I love to come into play. You build tension throughout the story. You keep the reader wondering why they're reading, but they're so interested in the reading that they're like, shit, I'm not putting this down. Then there's the climax. Then once it reaches its peak, all this good stuff, right? So that's all stuff that over time we're going to talk about. We're going to learn. we're going to probably just beat a dead horse with. Okay. Next, right, is literally finding your voice. We talked about that, but what the hell does it mean? Remember, we talked about your unique style, that whole your writing voice is a personal stamp on your work. It's all yours, it's nothing but you. It's literally only you could do it, correct? It's what makes your story stand out. It's super important. Here's what I don't see a lot of people doing is experimentation, right? Trying out different styles and genres and seeing what works for them, seeing what feels authentic and genuine, right? And incoming, we have writer's block, again, because we love beating dead horses. But it's such a common challenge for writers, right? And why? You know, whether it's perfectionism or fear of failure, just, you know, maybe it's a lack of inspiration. That's what I always assume it is, a lack of inspiration. But is it? Am I wrong? How do you feel? Write down. How do you feel? Put in the comments, please. Here, right? If we're going to give some advice, let's do this. 1, free writing. Free write and keep writing, continue writing. No matter what happens, you're going to write for 1 minute, one straight 60 seconds to a minute. Okay? You're going to write and you're not going to stop. This is free writing. Step 2, you're going to change your environment because generally speaking, if you're in a shitty place, you can't write a great book. Or if you're really good, you go to a shitty place to write a really terrifying novel. Some would even say that you could read for inspiration. I'm not sure how well that would work. You'd have to give it a try and see how it goes. Is that something that you could do? Is that something that would benefit you? Do you have the management of your own time to accomplish reading? And while we're talking about overcoming these obstacles and whatnot, there should be additional tips and tricks, right? I believe that the more you practice, the more you practice, the more you practice, right? So become a regular at practicing. Even musicians do this. They set a set amount of time and they are playing for this amount of time and they don't stop until that amount of time is up, right? You should practice regularly. Join a writing group or don't. Don't be afraid to experiment. I understand it's your comfort zone, but your comfort zone is stupid and you need to realign your comfort zone, okay? It's no fun to have a comfort zone, man. Get the hell out of it and don't be afraid to write about things that you've never written about. You don't know if it's your style until you do it. What I hear is that writers aren't having fun anymore. Fun's the whole part of writing. Fun is why you started writing. It's the enjoyable experiences. It's the rewarding experiences that you receive. This shit should be fun. There's a flood of problems people are having with writing. Right? But fun. It should be